Ada beragam cerita mualaf yang terjadi di dunia ini, mulai dari yang unik bahkan ada yang aneh. Seperti yang dialami oleh fleur Rosanna, ia adalah seorang wanita cantik asal Amerika Serikat yang memutuskan untuk memeluk agama Islam. Dikutip dari tayangan video di kanal YouTube Penduduk Langit, fleur Rosanna lahir dan dibesarkan di keluarga non-muslim. Ia termasuk hamba yang cukup taat saat itu terhadap Tuhannya. Rosanna mengatakan pergi ke rumah ibadah bisa 1 atau 2 kali dalam setahun apabila ada perayaan dan hari besar keagamaan. Meski demikian, anehnya, wanita bule cantik ini tidak pernah diajarkan untuk berdoa. Meskipun Rosanna tidak tahu caranya berdoa, hatinya terdorong untuk tetap berdoa, karena ia percaya Tuhan itu ada dan akan selalu melindunginya.
So to start off with, I grew up in a Christianish family. We didn't pray at home, but at the same time we went to church maybe once a year during Christmas, maybe twice a year when it was Easter, but like once a year we went to church. We didn't pray. However, we did go to a Christian school where we were taught a little bit about the Bible. I also had a Bible at my house. It was like a children's version of the Bible, which I absolutely loved. However, now that I look back at it, look back at my life, I feel like I was raised pretty much with the same morals and values as in Islam.
Seiring bertambahnya usia, Rosanna memiliki hobi sekaligus sebagai sumber penghasilannya, yaitu menulis. Ia sering menulis tentang Islam, padahal dirinya sendiri tidak pernah mengenal Islam, apalagi di lingkungan atau teman-temannya tidak ada yang Muslim.
I loved writing stories. And at first, when I was really small, my stories were all about like animals and little cats and dogs and elephants. I don't know what. But when I grew a little older, my stories became more and more religious, in the sense that it was always about a religious family. And the main character was 99% of the time Islamic. And I don't know why. This was just a really weird interest of mine, because I grew up in this village with pretty much zero Muslims. I never met a Muslim in real life. I was just still little, so I was not really like looking at the news and all, but I just had this weird interest in Islam.
Ketika masuk ke universitas, Rosanna keluar dari desa dan pindah ke kota. Sejak itu, kali pertamanya Rosanna mengenal Islam, karena di lingkungan sekolahnya ini terdapat komunitas Muslim. Dalam kesempatan itu, Rosanna coba mencari tahu tentang Islam, karena selama ini ia hanya menulis tokoh Muslim tapi belum pernah bertemu apalagi mengenalnya. Suatu hari Rosanna bertemu dengan pria yang saat ini menjadi suaminya. Ia adalah seorang Muslim. Teman prianya itu menjelaskan tentang Islam kepadanya, hingga akhirnya pintu hati Rosanna terbuka dan memutuskan menjadi mualaf, kemudian menikah dengan pria tersebut.
Islam is a way of life to me. But when I look back, when I was small, it was just this interest of mine, and I never pictured myself being a Muslim myself. However, I really enjoyed incorporating it in my stories. And to make my stories more based on the truth, I often went to the library, to the information section, and then I just read a whole bunch of information about Islam. So Islam was really interesting to me, but it didn't really impact me directly. Moving on to my teen years, I was still writing a lot of stories. It was still my greatest hobby, and my stories were still pretty much 99% of the time based on religion. However, in my own life, I kind of lost the connection with God at that time. So I went to high school, and like I said, I grew up in this village with zero Muslims. There's just no religion in my direct environment. So I lost that connection with God. A couple of years later, I went to study, and I went to a big city. And that was the first time that I met Muslims in real life, or at least people who claimed to be Muslim. I was really confused at the time observing those people. It didn't match with the way that I thought Islam was supposed to be. It didn't match with the way that I described Islam in my own stories. And also it didn't match with me. It didn't match with my own morals and values. So at that time, Islam became like a far from my bed show. And Islam in the media, that didn't really help either. So my interest in Islam did not disappear at all, actually, but this all caused me to have so much more questions about Islam. And I didn't know who to ask it to, all the way up until I actually met my husband. So my husband was one of the first, if not the first Muslim that I met who actually matched with my idea of what Islam was supposed to be. It matched with the way that I described Islam in my stories, as well as he matched his behavior. It all just matched with me. So he was to me the right person to ask all the questions that I had left, and he could pretty much answer all of the questions that I had, and it all made so much sense to me. So at this point I was 19 years old. Because it all made so much sense to me, everything that he explained, I just had this extra motivation to again investigate Islam. Like the fire inside of me, it burned again, and this time I started researching Islam in an academic way instead of in a childish way, just to write my own stories. So this was a period, and it maybe took me 1 year, maybe not even a year. And in this year, I really digged into this religion. I really did my research, and after, like I said, maybe 1 year, I accepted Islam as a religion of the truth.